The last component is garlic. Now, I showed you in a previous video that you may or may not have watched how to get the garlic peeled. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's see. I'm going to take off like a handful of cloves. These, for some reason, are actually on the small side. Maybe one more. So, garlic is like onion, and then it has a papery skin on it, and then that's not the edible part. So you want to go ahead and get that off. As I illustrated last time, the easiest way to do that is to squish them with the flat side of your knife. So just lay the garlic flat. It's got a round side and then some flat side. So lay it on a side that's not going to rock, and then just squish it. This also aids in the cutting of the garlic because it's now flat. It won't roll around as you're trying to cut it, and if it doesn't roll around, then it can't escape as the blade comes to dice it. So got all those guys taken care of, and now once they're squished, you got to reach in a little bit and kind of delicately take off the paper, toss that aside. Sometimes I actually don't like to crush the garlic with the side of the knife on the actual cutting board because I end up getting all these little bits of garlic paper all over my workspace, and then I have to clean it off because you don't want to get those in your food. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's also not really what you want. So this is all about getting what you want. So there's those guys, a couple more. And as I said last time I did garlic, there is a little nub at the bottom of each clove that is hard and kind of woody almost, and you don't want to include that in your food. So you just go ahead and find it. Oh, that's the wrong side. Here it is, and just pop it off. Sometimes it actually ends up getting split when you smush the garlic. You'll see that this one is actually kind of, it's all over the place, so you've got to almost put it back together and cut the whole thing off at once. So this one, this little tiny guy. Now the cloves of garlic here are unfortunately kind of small, which means for no other reason, it's just annoying because you have a lot more work to do. There's more skin to pull off and more little ends to snip off to get the same amount of garlic that I would get otherwise. Garlic does come in a jar already kind of crushed. I have never used that. I had a roommate who had some once, and it basically stank up the entire kitchen. So, and this also doesn't have the same flavor. Having it freshly crushed or chopped or pressed is always better than having it pre-done, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can take this garlic and turn it into little bits of garlic. Way number one is to use a garlic press. That's this component here. You put the garlic in there, and then you squish it, and then the garlic pieces come out here. My problem with this is that it ends up being really wasteful. You end up with a lot of garlic left in the chamber that doesn't end up getting squished out, and then you have to pop it out and chop it, and then you have to clean this thing. And this one actually has a little nubby thing here so that when you go like this, it empties out all the garlic from the holes. But that's a start. But I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the garlic press anymore. Another option is to use a little chopper. I've got a little chopper down here. It's like a little mini Cuisinart. You can see this guy. And that can work sometimes, but you end up just dirtying another appliance that you have to clean later. So I'm going to choose not to use that either. Though sometimes I do use it when I'm feeling lazy and the dishwasher is empty. So what I'm going to do is actually just do it with the knife. How radical. So again, I'm going to push these guys down a little bit if I had puffed them up a little bit to get the tips off. And then just move the knife over them. I'm using my fingers on my left hand to just gently hold them in place as I slowly move the knife over. You don't have to use a lot of pressure, really gently, because they're already kind of broken. And I do it again, another pass. And what you end up doing is, you think, well, you just did it that direction. Why are you doing it again? Well, the reason is because I may want them thinner than I had done it already, and also they shift a little bit, so we end up cutting them in different places. It's not like you're going to waste those strokes. I like to take another knife and push the garlic off. You can do it with your finger if you want, but you don't want to get your finger too close to the blade, and you don't necessarily want all this garlic oil on your fingers in case you need to go to the bathroom or put on your contact lenses. So I'm going to do it again. You saw I kind of collected the field of garlic into a little mound. You see I'm doing it again. I'm pushing them back and forth and concentrating the garlic all into one spot so that I don't have to do as much work. Again, scraping. And another pass. If you do end up using a garlic press, you know, I'm not going to criticize you for it, that's fine. But what I would recommend that you do is you press the garlic directly into the pot or the food that it's going into, because you end up, garlic presses actually end up squirting out a lot of garlic juice, and you don't want to lose that. You don't want it to just end up on the cutting board, or you don't want it to end up like, you know, like on the counter or wherever. You want it to end up in your food. So you take the garlic press and you squish it right into the destination, and that way you keep as much garlic flavor as there is available. If you chop it like this, it's not as big of a problem because you're not squishing juice out of the garlic, you're cutting the garlic up into little pieces. So you don't have to worry so much about losing any of that juice. So at this point, all of our components are ready to go. One thing that you can do is, like, what I like to do is if I'm cooking with garlic and I need the cutting board, I'll just take like a little dish. I bought I guess like a 5 set of these, and 2 of them broke, so I have just a couple left. But just put the garlic in here and set it aside for future use.